Alex Schuetz, welcome to the MTake podcast, my girl.
Hey guys.
I'm so happy you're here.
I know, same. Finally. It's taken a minute, but we're here.
We're here. It's been a long time coming. You were featured on our last episode. I don't know if you listened, but it was hysterical.
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
we're so happy you're here. Alex, is this your first podcast?
It is.
Oh,
I'm so excited for it to be yours too. So I'm excited.
I'm honored. I'm so honored
You
that it's
should
our
be.
space. Mel and I have been talking about having like an interior designer on because we are like fully subscribed to like phases and stages, like big conceptual visionary thinkers, but like
Yeah.
we want our house to look presentable. We want our places and our spaces to feel good too, you know?
Totally. As they should.
Right, exactly. So well, let me actually first back up. When I met you, because our kids go to school together, I just like, you were a ray of sunshine. I just felt like I wanted to know you for the rest of my life.
I love you. Same.
Oh, really? I even think I told Mel about you. I'm like, there's this girl. She's amazing. We need to have her on the podcast. This is like a year ago. And
Which is
then,
crazy. Or longer, actually.
yeah,
Almost
right?
two. Yeah.
Almost two. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what is time?
It
It's so
was more
crazy.
than two.
Yes. Wait a second.
Yeah.
It's
It's
2026.
2026. It's more than two.
That's insane.
Wow. And we're
My
still 25. It's fine.
Exactly. Correct. Younger sometimes.
I know, right?
But okay, Alex, just like take a second. We have to brag about you. So sit
Okay.
back
Oh,
and
of
enjoy.
course. Okay.
So you are, for people who don't know you, you're an interior designer, you're an entrepreneur, and you're a mom of three beautiful little ones. You
Thanks.
are the founder and the creative force behind Sloan Design, which you created from the ground up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes,
So we'll
I am.
hear more about that and
Yeah.
you're going to spotlight your story and we can't wait to hear more. Your work has been featured, this is amazing, in Arc Digest, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And Elle Decor.
Yes.
I mean, damn girl.
Yeah. It's been great. Yeah.
It's
No, it's awesome.
incredible. And I think what makes you so special and unmatched is that your approach to interior design is anchored in your clients' own lifestyles, right? And their tastes. And it's a huge cornerstone of our space too. Again, kind of meeting people where they are in all of their phases and stages of life,
Yeah. It's
right?
huge. Yeah.
And today you carved out an hour of your day to spend time with us, and we are so
Yay.
very grateful to get your brain and your heart downloaded to us today. So thank you so much for being
Of
here.
course. I can't wait.
I'm so excited to just hear all the things and pick your brain. And I just feel like
Okay.
I'm getting a first row, like exclusive access to your brain
You are.
and everything you do. So
That's for sure. There's a lot in there. So
Perfect. How much time is too much time? That's really the question, right?
exactly. We could talk for hours. So
Amazing. We'll have to cut ourselves off at some point. So, Alex, one of the first parts of our episodes, especially when we have a guest, is we feature this concept of two truths, no lies, which is our take on holding two competing but coexisting thoughts together at the same time. And it's usually affixed to some type of relatable story or anecdote that any mom or parent can be like, oh my God, yes, like that makes so much sense. So before we shift the spotlight to you and your Tooth Truths, No Lies today, Mel is going to share something on her mind and heart.
okay, first of all, I totally forgot that we upload these to YouTube now. So I'm sitting here like looking through my two truths and lies, like so not paying attention. But now
worry.
that we go on YouTube, like everyone just gonna see me scrolling my phone as you're talking.
Because we're Kim K and everyone's watching us.
Everyone's
oh my
watching.
God, I love it.
Anyway, okay, two truths and lies. This is a perfect one for today. And it actually wasn't in my phone, but
Okay.
I'm on the spot. So I have really leaned into recently, ever since I've moved into my house and I have two large dogs, I've leaned into like, our house is not a museum. It's a mantra that my husband and I have said from day one.
Same, Mel.
And
I've been using that a lot recently too.
True.
My house is
Like,
not a museum.
right.
Like it's not, there's going to be scuffs on the walls. Things are going to break. Things are going to get dirty.
It'll look
And
like
now
we were robbed every day.
Not 100%. And now not only having two large dogs that shed and it's wet outside and there's mud everywhere, but now I also have two children. So it's just complete chaos. And I really subscribe to that, right? Our house is not a museum. And at any moment's notice, I will have an absolute mental breakdown that my house is not a museum, because I look around and I become so overstimulated by the stickers on the walls or the scuffs on the staircase runner or whatever else it might be. And those things, they coexist consistently every single day. And it's kind of just where I'm at in my buildup of overstimulation for the day on whether I can ignore it or embrace it. Michelle and I always say like that, that song, like, you're going to miss this. And it's the irony of it sometimes. But one thing I really know I'm going to miss one day is the Elsa stickers like on the trash can that I haven't taken off. Because I'm like, who cares? Like, there's Elsa stickers on the trash can. Like, my house isn't a museum. And then, spring cleaning comes and I'm like, I'm going to light this entire place on fire. Like, I'm done. Yeah. So those are my two truths and lies for today.
Okay. Well, that was a great example. And I feel like I feel the same way all the time, especially because I did just finish like my home and it's been like a dream to do that. And I feel the same way. There's scuff marks on the wall. And at the end of the day, though, I'm like, the kids love it and they're having a blast running through the halls. I'm like, that's why we built this, right? But my two truths and no lie are that I absolutely love everything about what I do. I love my family like more than anything. I'll probably cry. I love my family, and I've had 3 babies, and like I've never ever taken a maternity leave because like for me, I love to do what I do, which is also work. So my like two truths and a lie is like I'm always between like a rock and a hard place on like, do I spend the day at home with my baby or do I go to work with my other babies? Where it's like I feel like I'm needed in 2 places and I love both of them like equally. So it's always like the pull and the tug on like, well, I'm guilty if I'm not home and I'm guilty if I'm not at work because I'm here and needed at like both at like 100% of a capacity. But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, who is that lucky to love where they are at work and at home and bring their work home and their home to work? Because my family and my business are both like intertwined to like no extent. Like my team at work is my lifeline, but they're also like my home lifeline. If like they come over, my kids could play with them, they would watch them. They're like a second family. And then there's like my kids and my husband who come to my studio, hang out, want to have lunch with us. So like I miss moments at home that are worth what I'm doing for like our future. And then I miss moments at work, but I have like the backer of the people that are going to help me grow and then help them grow. So those are my two truths, no lie. Hopefully that was the right one.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
I want to give you a hug.
I know. Yeah,
Guys, not the right time of month for this type of question.
Never.
We cry
is.
every episode.
Every
Are you kidding me?
Forget it. Full moon. I mean, come on.
Oh God, right?
That's so relatable. And we've talked to quite a few female entrepreneurs and male, but female specifically, in this burden that we carry as I say we, I'm not one. Really, but that we carry going, that we carry between those two things and toggling. And a sentiment that we've heard before is sometimes this daydream of, even though like having this dream business and something you've always wanted to do and everything you just mentioned, this daydream of like, what would it be like just to go to a 9-to-5 that like I could just like clock in, clock out. There's no stress. I get a paycheck every week. And it's okay to have both those feelings. It doesn't mean that you're any less grateful for the children at home, the business you've created. Just to be like, you know what might be a little easier today is me to clock in at a virtual job like some of my friends do and clock the hell out.
Yep. No, it's so true.
And when
Take
you
18 weeks maternity leave.
Yeah, and, like, that sounds amazing.
But when you love what you do,
maybe
you're
at the
not
5th
working.
child, guys. Right, exactly.
Was that your lie?
Yeah, we want 4. I can't do 5, guys.
But right, like when there's something to be said about that when you work when you love what you do,
It's
you're
not
never
working.
working, right?
No, it's so true. Even if it causes stress, it's like everything is going to cause you to stress, whether you're working, whether you're not working. If you have enough time to do the laundry, to do the dishes, to clean the house, like everything's going to make you feel stressed because it's not going the way you plan or it's not moving fast enough. But like, if I'm not stressed at work, then I know that I'm in the right place, you know?
Yeah, and you can't be 100% at everything all the time.
No,
Like you
no,
just can't. It
can't.
always comes down to like making those choices. Like when are you going to
Yep.
choose the family home life over
Right.
the work life? And when are you going to choose the work life over the family life? And that
Yes.
comes with sacrifices, but at least that those choices are in your control to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some will have to give, and some are a little bit easier to make.
To make, yeah, it's true.
Hmm. I feel
Yeah.
like it's so relatable for Mel. She's also about to like go back to work from maternity
Yeah.
leave.
Oh,
Algorithms aren't just you could be like the universe sends you signs, but then like you actually have
yeah,
algorithms and like phones that listen to you
yes.
talk and ruminate on things that send you videos to watch.
Oh, the worst.
And I've been thinking a lot about going back to work and what that's going to look like, and maybe not necessarily career change, but like, well, is there other things out there,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And it's this like you want to have your cake and eat it too.
Yes.
And it's really hard when you're looking at, I'm sure there could be people that look at your Instagram, your professional Instagram, and be like, oh my God, she has it all. Like she has her own business. She's able to like look at this gorgeous thing that she does, Arc Digest, Elle Decor, all these things in this beautiful family. And but what you forget is when you're looking at these examples, or someone who doesn't work at all
Doesn't
and
it?
they're stay-at-home mom and they're with their kids all the time, like, oh my God, they don't have to make any sacrifices.
No.
There are sacrifices everywhere you look. And the people that are the most successful professionally and have this career that you look at, they're making sacrifices every day
Yeah.
not to be with their children, and that probably breaks their heart a little bit each and every day, and probably a little bit more some other days.
Yeah.
And it's just really easy to forget that though when you're looking at people's highlight reels.
Oh, definitely. Because you don't put it out there unless you do, then you're putting out everything. So it's like, how much do you want to blend things? How much do you want to talk about personal life and business, business and personal, right? Like, especially when they are so intertwined, sometimes it's nice to have like a fine line to divide them so you can feel that you're in the moment, in the now, especially at the moments that you're missing, or you want to be more of a, more attentive to like being home with the kids or taking the day off and not working. But it is hard to not work when you have to work.
Totally. Got to
Yeah.
put it on that shelf. We talk about that shelf
That's
all the
right.
time. And I think one more thing I want to say before we kind of shift the spotlight. There are some people, and you're not one of these people, but there's some people that don't miss the home life. And what a
Right.
beautiful thing it is to miss it when you're not
Makes it.
there.
Yeah.
Like that speaks loudly too. So to know that you have such a beautiful home life and that you can come back to that and you do miss it, that's a beautiful thing.
It is.
A hard thing, but a beautiful thing
I
to choose
know,
no
but a good
lies.
thing.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Okay, let's shift the spotlight. I want to know your story. I want to go back to the beginning. Take us back
Okay.
to when you were a little girl. Like, what made you light
Okay.
up about spaces and designing and all the above?
Okay. So I grew up in Bergen County, New Jersey. My dad was a custom home builder. So, like, from a young age, he was always working, always building. And it was always just like, oh, where's dad on a job site, right? Like, big pickup truck, blueprints, measuring tape. So we were always like around that. It's just me and my sister. So he never had like the son to get into construction. So that's like a joke that he does have that, but just in the prettier aspect of it. So we always just kind of grew up like going on job sites with my dad, hearing about it. And then he did like a renovation on my home. So I was like very involved. We got to do the little things everybody says, pick the color, pick your furniture, make those first steps. And I don't really think at those moments, to be honest, that I thought anything about it, right? I don't think I did as a kid. I just thought it was fun and I get to go to the paint store. But then school was very challenging for me, like through middle school, high school, just academically. And I was more like social and more into the social and that aspect of life and just being a part of anything artsy or hands-on and not true academics. And then I went to community college for one semester. I didn't even make it the whole semester because I hated it. I had no goal there. It was just like a gen ed. And to me, I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, I'm not making money. I'm spending money. I have no end goal. I love children. So I became a full-time nanny. I nannied for about like 15 years and I loved it. And then I had a neighbor across the street who like talked to my parents and was just like, "Hey, I work at Berkeley College, which was a trade school." And I didn't know what a trade school was in 2012, to be completely honest. And I was like, "Okay, what's that?" And he's like, "You pick what you like. These are the different categories." And I remember looking through and I saw interior design and I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." And I was with my husband at the time, but we were just dating. And I remember he was like, "That's amazing. Like, just go for it. Just do it." And so my neighbor like helped me go through the enrollment, got me, into the school. And my first semester, it was no gen eds. It was all design related classes. So it might sound silly, but it was like coloring, drawing, like anything just artsy, but it was no like science or business. It was truly, what are you there to learn? And it was design. And I only did a 2-year program because I felt like at the end I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I don't think I need more schooling. I don't think you can teach creative minds. I think you can guide them and you can show them, but I think they have to get their hands dirty. And I think if you're a social person and you want to learn in that aspect, you'll just kind of go figure it out. So I got an internship, I got a job, I got another job, and I kind of jumped around with a few designers that I had loved, and I learned something from each one along the way. I had worked with about 4 to 5 designers prior to like going out on my own. And then I had one job that I figured, I think I've got it at this moment. Like, I think this is my time. I was getting married, and I said to my husband, or, my fiance at the time, I was like, think I can do this. And he was like, well, now's the time. We're getting married in April. Like, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to quit my job and I want to travel the world. And then I want to figure it out. So I quit my job.
Sounds
We got married
amazing.
in April. It was the best. We got married in April, and I booked us a 9-week honeymoon to 13 cities, 13 countries and 27 cities between Europe and Africa. And we went, and I got back, and I was like, all right, cool. I got the like jitters out of me, got the bugs out of me to like go travel. And I'm going to set a goal for myself for my first year as just an entrepreneur. I'm going to try and get jobs. I don't care what they are. I want to be here. I want to do it. I want to learn. And I don't even know how it happened. I just was getting like little gigs here and there. And then one day I blinked and I was like, wow, okay, I think this is a real business. And it took me like 4 years to accept that I created something because it was never a goal. Like going to school wasn't a goal. Being an interior designer wasn't a goal. And I'm very much like my quote is like everything happens for a reason. So like for me, it was like, okay, I'll go to school, sure. Like I'll do 2 years. That's way too much for me. Like I can't go to 4. I have to do a big project and presentation at the end. Not happening. Like 2 years and that's it. And then after about 4 years, I was like, all right, it's happening. Like this is real. I should probably like get QuickBooks, and I should probably like not, like make some business cards. Like everything was just word of mouth. And to this day, I would say 98% of my business has been word of mouth, which to me is like the biggest and best success for myself because more than what I care about is like more than how much I care about design, more than I care about is my relationships with my clients, my vendors, my reps, my team, and people that like I'm with every day. Because without a great standing relationship as just like an individual, your business will fail. You will get jobs, but you won't get referrals. You won't, and a referral speaks more volume than a beautiful space because you have to be a good person to have someone want to work with you again? So that's
Absolutely.
kind of like my backstory on how I got started. And my whole family is in some sort of aspect of construction and design and architect and lighting. So we've all just like had so much to connect on and talk about and help one another. So it's been really fun.
That's amazing. I definitely want to get into the nitty gritty of like your business and what you're doing
Yeah.
in real time, but I can't help with like the few through lines that throughout your story that like make me emotional. So first, I've been hearing, I think Reese Witherspoon said it recently, and it's kind
Yeah.
of been blowing up, but like chase your talents, not your dreams. And I
Yep.
just could not help but think about that. And it's such a testament to yourself and your own intuition and your own self-awareness, and I'm looking for another word, and I can't put, maybe Michelle knows what I'm trying to say.
I think it's just like,
But
it's your instinct. It's your
Your
instinctual
instinct.
feeling. Yeah.
And what an amazing job your parents did in like supporting that. And that makes me really emotional. But like I've been talking about this way before I had kids, and this is a spiral we're not going to go on right now, but how college is a business, right? And it's a business that high
100%.
schools endorse. And
Yes.
it is a business for high schools to send people to college, even if it is not in their best interest.
Yes.
And I have said way before I had kids that if any of our children are interested in a trade, or just simply know that college is not the right path for them, my one thing is, whatever you do, just do it really effing well. Like, put your best foot forward, be happy. And you know what? If you want to go work in construction, go follow after a really, really great and inspiring person and learn from them. And the fact that your parents were encouraging you clearly to do that and entrusted you in that, you knew that that wasn't the right path for you. And now I'm going to chase what feels organic to me and authentic to me, but also do it really well. And quite frankly, nannying is good ass money. And
it was
nannying along the way while you learned and carved out your path versus pushing an 18-year-old into a 4-year college experience that, to your point, you would have had a great social time, I'm sure. Yeah. And but what would have happened after those 4 years? You would have been right back where you were, right? So it's so inspiring to hear on the other side, right? Someone who was really encouraged to follow what spoke to them and what was authentic to them and really worked hard at it, because that's like the other big piece of the puzzle.
No, it's so true. Like, I remember I was working with a designer who I adored, and it was great, but I also knew that there was something else out there for me. And I also do chase like the money because I wanted to be successful. And I think that kind of lit a fire under me. And I ended up leaving a design job to be a full-time nanny because I was getting paid more. And I thought to myself, like, well, I have to follow the money because I know that no matter what, if I have the money, I can build anything I want at the end. But if I get stuck, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. And going from the job to the nanny felt like a little bit of a step backwards in a way. But then it opened up the ability where my husband, at the time my boyfriend we were just dating, and he and I sat at Panera one day and we said, let's move out of New Jersey. And I was like, great opportunity. I'm only nannying. I'm not leaving a career behind. And we moved to Los Angeles for a year. Just give it a shot. And I got an amazing job out there that just taught me so much that I was like, had I been in a position here that I didn't feel like it was right to leave because it was like gearing me up for higher success in my field, I probably wouldn't have gone. But I was doing what I needed, which was I didn't notice in the moment, but I was getting more money from a job that maybe wasn't my future career so that I could make the step to go move to another state to then get back into my field. But like, I didn't think about why it was happening. It was just all happening, like I said, for a reason. And then when I moved home, I was like, that was why. Like I was supposed to have a little bit more because my dad didn't like that I left. And if I touched my savings account, it was my key to come home. And I joke to this day, I kept 1,000 in my savings. In 2016, I was like, I didn't spend, I added one $1,000 paycheck. And then my dad was like, that's all I needed to know. If you touched it, it was time to come home. And I was like, no. So that was like why I knew there was a reason for it.
You should be like a poster child for like how to navigate your 20s. Like those are the
working on
like the risks that you take and the step backs, but to take a few steps forward.
I'm still in my 20s now.
How rude.
I wish. Oh, I wish.
It's so true, though. I can't stop thinking about that, too, as I'm kind of listening to your story. And I'm also a firm believer in Alex. We've talked about this before. Like, everything happens for a reason. We're subscribed to the corniness of that because we believe in it wholeheartedly. But I think there's a reason, right? And like, balancing that with the authentic instinct that you've had multiple times in just hearing your story for the past 10 minutes of knowing when to take that jump or when to take that leap. And I think there are a lot of people listening, 20s, 30s, 40s, really, of like, I'm kind of grappling with this crossroad. How do I know when the time is right? Do you have any advice for that?
I always feel like it's when you think that there's something more. Like when you feel that you're not in the now is not enough. And I don't mean that because there obviously is like what's happening now is everybody always wants more. We have everything at our fingertips. We want it faster, we want it quicker, we want it better. But I think for me, it was more so like chasing a bigger end goal. And I never had an end goal for myself, which I think is what I always thought was so fascinating because I didn't know what I wanted to do, like I said. So for me, not having an end goal and not pushing myself so hard, it all was able to be gradual. And then every success was a stepping stone to a greater success. And like I didn't write, like when I'm little, I'm like, oh, I want to own a business. I don't think I wanted to. I think my dad probably always told me not to want to because of how much you work, right? So like I just was more to take each stride of like, I think I should do this because, and I would take one good reason. And if that made sense, I would go for it. And still kind of use that now, like in business. Like I will take certain little aspects of things that come up or, possibilities or opportunities and gauge them quickly. I'm very quick to make decisions. And I think that's also a really good thing. I don't hem and haw. And if it's put in front of me and you ask me, are you going to do it or not? Like I need 2 minutes and I'll decide and I'll be very comfortable and confident with my decision because I think I'm choosing that path. And if I go back in a parallel universe, maybe I went the other way. But I think that like I have to continue on the one that like quickly grabs my attention because I lean that way, you know?
It seems like you're a very present person versus
Yeah.
like really focused in the future planning. Has
Yes.
having children changed that at all? Because I think kids have a way generally of
Yeah.
making you force you to think a little bit more future oriented.
Yes.
And how has that impacted your working style and your way in which you build upon your
Yeah.
career and whatnot?
So I think it's interesting because like I am always a very like in the now, but I think that my in the now weighs heavily on like the quick thoughts that I do have about the future. Like when I need to grow my business because we are having, talks of projects that are for the following year, I think very quickly to like, okay, then I have to gear up now. Like I need to prepare our team now so that everyone's comfortable and confident for next year. And then having kids, it's more like everything for me. I'm like, well, if I take this job, then I know that in a year I could get this for them, or we could do this, or I could make sure that in the future that they have enough to go to college or a trade or have their wedding or buy their car. And that's like all that I always say, like, that's all I work for. Like, even my girls at the studio know, my husband knows, like, I will forever and always shop Marshalls and TJ Maxx. Like, if you know me, you'll never see me outside of a sweatshirt and leggings. And if it is, it's an occasion. And I only truly work for like the future of my children. And I feel like that's why I knew like I always wanted to have kids. I didn't know I always wanted to work this hard, but now I'm like, oh, that's why, because I want them to have everything, you know? So it's like I plan for the future in a way of just knowing that like I love the now and it's getting me to the future that like I want for my husband and I, like that we love to travel and we won't take that out of our lives and like we want our kids to travel and my, oldest could pay for a year in college before she works. It's like we try and prepare them ways that maybe like we were prepared for, but it was also different for our parents back then than it is now. And I think because we have that ability, I'm like always thinking about their future, not even mine. Really,
So beautiful. They're so lucky to have you.
the best.
They are so lucky. Alex is the best. Like she's just the best. Even with my kids, she's just like she gets down on the floor. She like wants to talk and play,
They're
and I'm
so
like,
cute.
it's amazing. And Alex, you said before, like you didn't have an end goal, right? And
Right.
Mel and I always like to talk about it's actually like the done goal. Like, what does the
Yes.
done goal look like? And I'm curious to hear your thoughts now,
Yes.
if you have one. But in just hearing you speak about your story and what you just said, like you're always doing this for your family, for your kids, like
Yes.
that's what your done goal looks like. You do have
Yeah.
that done goal painted, and it's
Yes.
built by so much more than just, the what is seen. There's
What it
so
is.
much more
Yeah.
underneath that.
No, that's true. I don't know I mean, listen, if I could have my cake and eat it too, I'll retire at 40 I'll travel the world. I'll go back on my honeymoon. Like,
The done goal,
but
baby.
Yeah.
that's it. Like 7 years to go. Oh, I just aged myself 8, but we'll just keep going. So,
Less than us.
sorry, girls. Um, so I would say my end
Womp
goal really
womp.
would be to like grow a business that maybe does get ran by the team that I love, that they can continue to be successful. And I don't have an end goal for what it could be because honestly, I thought it was always going to be me as like just, hey, I'm Alex, I'm the business, I do everything. And it was that way for about 5 years. And then in the last 2 years, I grew from 1 to 5. So in 2 years, I thought, oh, me and an employee is perfect. And then it was, oh, me and two is the perfect number. I love three. Then it's like, but one more is going to be icing on the cake. And then it's like, hold on a second, wait, no, this fourth, like, so I don't have an end goal because I think it could grow to what it is meant to grow to. And we all adapt, and I make sure that we adapt as a team, we adapt as a unit. And if everybody can handle it, which is like the first and foremost, most important question, it's like, can we handle it? If not, are we growing? Are we slowing down? Do we want to take a pause? Because, like, I won't do anything that makes anybody else feel uncomfortable. It's not just about me because I'm, yes, the face and I talk to all the clients and I do all the work with my team, but my team is running and operating behind the scenes of every single thing that is seen, install, drawing, plans. Like, so for me to take something on that's not comfortable for everybody is selfish because it's going to bring everybody down. It's going to stress everybody out. And I feel like I need to make sure everybody's happy. And that's the end goal for me is like everybody's happy, everybody's comfortable. No one wants to leave because they love where they are in terms of overall business and just like the connections that they have. And then for myself, it's just like building a large enough, you could say brand, but large enough brand that I can step away, but still have my hands in it, but spend the time with my family or, do the trips we want to do and be a part of everything for kindergarten and, teach your mom and like all the things I do want to do, field trips. Like I will be sure that I'm on and a part of everything, like as they grow up.
It, we have this thing that one of my friends introduced to me, and we talk about it on the pod. But instead of setting New Year's resolutions, we like pick a word or a phrase, kind of
Okay.
manifest or attached to the year. And as you're talking, I was kind of finding a parallel with that, in that rather than like a done goal, it kind of seems like it's like sustainability. Like across
Yes.
everything you're saying, whether it's what you see in 10 years or what you see 6 months from now, or what you see right now, like the goal is sustainability for your
Yeah.
family, for your ability to be balanced between the two, for your staff, for the business, everything. It's just
Yep.
sustainability. And what a beautiful thing. And I'm learning so much from you right now in just this short conversation. I think our listeners will too, in that maybe it's not about a number, it's not about this dream vision, it's not about being this designer that's your dream in inspo. It's creating a sustainability or whatever your
Sustainability.
word
Yep.
might be.
Yes.
It's really inspiring hearing you talk about
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Lights us up, Alex. It's amazing.
Let's go. Sorry, here.
I want to know more about designing spaces and places that are
Okay.
kid friendly and grown up friendly
Okay.
from an aesthetic perspective as well. Mel,
Okay.
anything to add there?
Yeah, just selfishly, I love that we're able to talk to you and I can just ask questions, but
Okay.
I really
Little free
struggle.
advice.
Literally, I struggle personally with I'm good at the bigger picture stuff. So we've
Okay.
done projects over the years where like our master bath or whatever it might be, and I personally can pull the pieces together between my Pinterest board and
Pinterest.
like get the tile and the paint and the mirrors, and I can the big stuff, but it's
Yes.
always that like
The
final
little stuff.
10% that
Yep.
I freeze and then I leave and it's just never done. And my
Yeah.
house feels like it's full of 90% completed projects,
Sure.
and it
Okay.
drives me absolutely wild because that is what pulls it together, right? Like
It is. It's the
all that
minutia of
big,
it.
exactly. It's what makes it you. What makes
Yeah.
it all come together. So yes, big picture. I want to hear all about your how you go about designing these spaces and putting your
Okay.
touch onto these things, but also like would love your take on that and
Elevated and kid friendly at the
yeah,
same time.
exactly.
Yeah, so there's like a perfect example. So we just had a project in Franklin Lakes for an amazing client. They had a massive basement, maybe like 4,000, 5,000 square feet. And they have two kids who are, I believe they're 4 and 7, 4 or 8. And they said, like, we want this space to be where we want to spend all of our time, but we want it to be a multi-functioning space, a space for the kids, a space for the adults, a space to gather, host, but also like not feel that it is a kid's area, but we can use it for us as well and like be a part of their space and feel comfortable in it as well, which I think is really important. Because as parents, like a lot of our time is spent where on the floor playing or sitting on the couch watching their movie, but like we're trying to get our own stuff done. So like comfort's everything. And in this space, we pretty much like converted, I would say, like a fraction of it to the adults, obviously, and giving them like their space, which was the bar, the living room, the golf simulator, and a gym. So it was like very suited to them. But then there was this space that was just perfectly suited for what we called playroom. But even at that age, we kind of said kids are not playing with as many little toys anymore. And they like to do things, they like activity, like bigger pieces, like what can we give them that will excite them and then also maybe help them want to excel into using other types of entertainment, such as reading or games. So we created this playroom and I can get you guys a picture so if you wanted to like showcase it, but it's so fascinating. So this space was done with myself and another designer that was on my team, and what we did is we created a space to have the kids want to read, play, cuddle up on a sofa, cuddle up in a curl in a nook in the wall that was big enough to fit 4 size adults. And the space was just curated so perfectly because it was a blend of all of like natural colors and natural textures like white oaks and woods and very, very soft fabrics. But everything that we did, we made it intentional so that when the kids are older, they can still use it and it doesn't need to be reconformed into a 10 and a 15-year-old space. Maybe you change a pillow, but everything was set to basically ground the space to make it very kid friendly and adapt to their ages now with durable materials. Like we always start with making sure that they can eat a snack, they can drink chocolate milk and apple juice, that if they spill it, even though the sofa was expensive, you're not going to be upset with them. And you're going to treat them the way that like you would want, anybody to treat you, like where you're respecting and understanding that it's their space and you want them to feel a level of comfort because that's what you're creating for them and like a safe space, but it's also a space that we said like, okay, the parents love it. They can go in here in the reading nook and read a book because next to the nook is a beautiful like rainbow shaped arch that you put bookshelves on. And we've put a ton of different books. We used like a lot of things within the space that were very kid friendly in regards to like colors. We used like a lot of pastels. A lot of the games we used are all to look like decorative books, but when you open the books, they're all games. There's Monopoly, there's Life, there's Jenga. So it basically allowed for the parents to still want to host down here and not feel like they're bringing people into their kids' playroom because there's no doors. We kept it open and it's right by the billiards table, but it was such a exciting space because the kids can use it at the same time that the parents can. And I think kind of like the finishing touches to that job truly brought it to fruition. Like one of my girls will help with accessories, and she did a phenomenal job by just like adding every piece of decor from like a bookend to a coaster to a chunky throw blanket that just made the space feel like, okay, the kids can cuddle up and watch a movie with popcorn. We'll clean it up in the morning, but at the end of the day, everything has a place, everything has a home, and it has an intention.
From that, I mean, that sounds, I cannot wait to
It's
see
so
pictures.
cute.
That
It's so
sounds
cute.
like a
It's amazing.
absolute dream. Are there any pillars to when you're looking at a space like that? Like you mentioned durability.
Yeah.
You mentioned the transitional factor of it being able to like grow with the children.
Yeah.
Do you have certain, I said pillars, but the what's like the word I'm trying to think of, Michelle? Like
like criteria,
but like something that you like subscribe to in every job that you're like, these are things that we kind of like our equation to ensure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
categories
for us, it's more so like, okay, so the way I would think that what you're asking is more so like to us, it's making sure that everything is performance, everything is durable, and everything has like the durability to last a lifetime. But the design is timeless. So they're both never aging in different ways. Like the design is always in the now and consistent, but you can make sure that like it is durable so it can be used and abused for 10 years because you're going to maybe have more kids and introduce them into that space, you know? So like for us,
Mm-hmm.
guidelines are always making sure that no matter what, like aesthetic is on par with what we want to put out as a business that a client's going to love to live in, but that
Mm-hmm.
in 10 years they could be like, wow, that sofa was worth it. Like they're right. And like two great examples, because I can't believe I forgot my own basement for my own babies. We just did our basement, and my husband did a spectacular job. We did a full, like, my basement is just kids, no adults. So, like, it is their space, but I can send you that too. My husband did a whole entire playhouse that he had built. He drew it, they built it. Slides, a hatch so that you could go upstairs when you're done grocery shopping. The whole wall is wallpapered with like mountains because we love Switzerland. So it was like intentionally supposed to like look like a place that we dream to live when we're 40, when we retire, like I said. And and a rock climbing wall because I have a 5, a 3, and an 8-month-old, and my 5 and 3-year-old should be on like Ninja Warrior because they climb, they exert their energy, they can use the space all year round. It's obviously more suited for like winter when we're stuck in the house, to give them the ability to exert the energy, the after school emotions that they couldn't release during the day. And I feel like that's so important when you're working on a space for kids. Like you need to make it a space that they can go and they can release what they've held in all day. Like mine are in school from 8 to 4:30. And when they come home, they need protein, they need a minute, they need a bath, and they need to play, you know? And like, so I make sure that like that space, we can go down, they can be rough, they can be wild, they can color, and I don't want them to color on the table, but if they do, it's for them, you know? And like, end of day, let them have a space that they don't have to feel like how we feel upstairs. Like, don't touch the halls, the walls are new, don't color on the counter with that marker, you know? So like, I think it's very important to make sure that the spaces are what your kids are going to remember that you did for them. And end of day, to your point that you said earlier, Mel, like it doesn't last forever. So like, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
It's so true. It
let
kills
them put the
us.
sticker on the wall.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Draw on
Yeah.
the table. Draw on the
Yeah.
Fine.
table.
Yep.
You have to send a picture. Mel, it's amazing.
Oh, I will.
Alex showed me at
It's
a
so
birthday
cute.
party a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "We'll
You
be
have to
there
bring all the
tonight."
kids over. Yeah,
Yeah,
like we
can't
done.
play. I'll get
We'll
them
all
Can't
be
wait.
there.
Yeah.
Literally.
How do you have any words of advice for fellow parents that maybe aren't at a point where they can be hiring someone as amazing as you, but they are looking for ways to keep their space so that when the kids go to bed, so we're not talking about the basement playroom anymore, but we're
Yep.
talking about the actual living space upstairs.
Yes.
And they want a space that when they walk in, the energy is there. They feel happy to be home. It's their respite. And when the kids are around, it still functions for their family. Do you have any advice on how to target that or what they could be looking for when building
Yeah,
a space like
I
that?
think it's very important to make sure that like in your space when you do have kids, if you are going to allow for like your toys in that area, and you should, we all do, right? Because the kids want to be near us, and that's another problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your kids don't want to be in the basement after school when they spend 9 hours with somebody. They want to be attached at the hip where you are with you, helping you. So like I think for a space that's like a living room, it's supposed to be a family room, right? So the space should be suited so that there's maybe storage that the kids know like this is my space, this is my area, all my toys are in here. And it could be like a beautiful built-in, like we do a lot of custom built-ins, and like yes, they do cost money, but at the end of the day you can do things that are more makeshift. You can buy something off on, you know, online that's not so much built into the wall, but it gives you the ability to have the storage where you're happy when the doors are closed at the end of the night because you can put everything back in like, you know, that basket that's the trucks, the toys, the dinosaurs. But then during the day, when the doors are open and the toys are on the floor before dinner, you can know that the kids have like their safe space in an area that is close to you when you're cooking, close to you when you're just getting everything ready, or if you're feeding the baby, you know, like whatever your life is after 5, till bedtime. It's nice to have a space that you know the kids can put their belongings in an area that they feel they can interact with it without getting, you know, oh, play with that downstairs or bring that in your room. And I think we all do that as parents because we all want our space that we want to be calm in the moment, to be calm all the time. But I think it's so hard as a parent to accept that it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
And if
exactly.
you are okay with the way that it's happening because you feel good when the doors are closed and they feel good when the door is open, it's working as a team. It's making sure that they understand like what it means to you when they clean up, and you know it, they know that you're happy when the doors are open and they're playing because they're using something that you created for them.
Yeah. That's
I
a great
love
point.
that. Great point. And also, like, I was actually going to ask that question of like, where does a parent like that prioritize? And it sounds like in what you just said, like prioritizing the storage, prioritizing those built-ins, prioritizing the doors. Like that feels like a really natural place because then that's something you're in control of. I'm a big
Yes.
control girly and I'm a
Yeah.
big systems girly, but my
Oh,
boys
yeah.
don't want to do the
They don't
system.
want systems.
They don't want any of that. They want to dump it all out. And that drives me
It drives me
insane.
insane. Same. Like,
It's
absolutely
crazy.
insane.
But to know that like if there is a functional place with a storage unit with a door
Yes,
that
that you can close
they
it
live
off.
in at the end of the day, you can close it off. That's a
Yeah.
really good place for someone who might be struggling like where do I even begin?
Yeah.
Perhaps it's that. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
I think it is because then you can feel good about your decisions and then you can figure out other ways to implement, you know, getting the space more suited for the kids in certain moments, or you can make it where at certain hours you know that the space is going to be that way, but it's the best way to make that room feel you and that you love the way it feels when you're in there. But then you can just close, I always feel like it's then you can just close the door, you
Right.
know,
Small
but you
door,
can
big
have the
door.
space feel beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Are there any other priorities that you'd add to that list for people who are grappling with that?
In more so of like having toys, I also feel like a lot of people right now have spaces that are suited on the main floor for kids, right? And that are considered their playrooms. And at the end of the day, we always say, like, if the organization looks cute and looks intentional, then it's okay. You know, like if you have the units from IKEA that are just cabinetry, don't spend a fortune, but make the baskets a pretty color that make you happy because it all matches. Get rid of all of the boxes and the containers that the toys come in and make it uniform. Because if you feel good about the uniform that you create and the structure that you're putting into the organization, it doesn't really matter what's inside it, right? Who cares if you mix the dinosaurs with the cars? Just put it away and like let it be clean, but then let that space be suited for the kids. And I think we all have to adapt and accept that like we have kids for that reason, that like they want to be kids, and like
Right.
we have to allow it. And I think that's where it like takes a parent, especially after a long day, you know, like a working parent, not a working parent, no matter what. If you're a mom who's home, you're overstimulated all day in another way than a business mom's overstimulated all day. So like you need to make sure that you understand that your kids at the end just want to be with you and playing with whatever it may be, like to have you with them. So I feel like we have to just kind of swallow the pill of like it's not going to be perfect, but you have to accept that this is the now, this is the perfect, you know?
100%. This might not resonate with everyone, but I know that it resonates with not what you just said, what I'm going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
with Michelle and I. And when you're talking about putting things back in its pretty boxes, this is a total first world problem, but whether it's my mom or someone in the house or whatnot, offers to help clean up the playroom, and
yeah.
it's maybe after the long week, like after a weekend, and it's everything's everywhere. And I'm not just being kind when I say, no, please don't. I actually don't want someone to, because
To clean
I
it up.
know where everything goes because
Yep.
of those beautiful rainbow bins that I
Yes.
have. And this goes here and this goes there. So if everything's put into places it doesn't belong, that causes me such intense chaos in my mind. I'd rather have the playroom door closed for the next 5 business days until I have a
Yep.
minute.
And then
then
you can
then
do it.
and then when I can do
Yeah.
it, and I know when I was at your house, Michelle, similarly, we were in the basement and I know everything has a space, and I said, like, I'm happy to help you clean up, but I also know that I like to decompress at the end of the day doing this. If
Yeah.
if that's what you would prefer, and you were like, yes, please,
Yes,
like,
that
Yes,
works.
please don't do it.
don't put anything
Yeah.
away because I know where it goes. And I think it really all comes down to systems, right, Michelle? And like we have, yes, everything looks beautiful, and but there's real functionality and a system behind these spaces. And if you kind of enter with that and like merging the system and functionality and the design and what like
together.
speaks to your heart and soul and will be cute for the kids, you can really find a great merge for both what gives you calm and also what's going to work well.
Right.
Yeah, it's so true.
And when to let it go. Like Alex
I
said
know.
before,
You
it's
gotta
like
let it go.
you have to let it
You
go.
have
I
to.
do that more now than ever before because I just
I know,
can't. I
same.
can't. I can't be
I could
sitting
not.
putting all of the food in the food bin and all of the trucks when nope, it's just not.
Alex, well, we've taken up so much of your time. We know we have to jump. I could talk your ear off all afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can everyone find you on Instagram and so on?
Yeah, of course. You can find me on Instagram. I can give you girls a handle to type it, but it's a Sloan Design, and that's us.
Amazing.
Thank you
were
so
my joy
much for
ticket.
Thank you guys
joining
so
us.
much for having me. Let's do another one so that we can
Yes.
talk on other topics. I'm
Perfect.
here for all of it.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Mwah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
girls.
You were my
Thanks.
joy
Bye.
ticket today.
Thanks, girls. Oh, I love it.
That was amazing.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
so
I have
glad
so
that
many
she was able to
thoughts.
join.
I almost like want to process with you right now.
I know we can. We have a few extra minutes.
I really think I find that maybe I was thinking about the spaces wrong. Like I wasn't really starting with the big storage aspect, even though like duh, why wouldn't you start and prioritize with that? I don't know.
100%. And not just like, I mean, I think we do think about that when we're in those specific spaces, like a playroom or in the basement, because we know there's going to be a lot of things. But then when you go into a space that's supposed to be like for the family or not necessarily where they're meant to have a lot of things, but it collects anyway, it's not the first thing. And the thing about built-ins is shelves give me anxiety because I'm like, I have to style them.
They're open-ended.
Yeah, they're open-ended. But like you can always put doors on them. You know what I mean? Or like or just style them. Just like do it.
But I think that to that point though, like that's kind of what Alex was saying, right? Like the design is timeless. Wait, no. Did she say? Well, no, she said something about being timeless. But then there was an evolution aspect of it too. Like switch out a pillow.
Exactly.
And like that makes so much sense to me, right? Because you just styled your daughter's beautiful shelves. She's about to turn 3.
Work in progress.
You are in the process of styling. And like in 5 years from now, when she's about to turn 8, her shelves are going to look very different than they do right now.
That's exactly right. And when I designed those built-ins and had them put in, I specifically was like, I first thought about what the function was going to be. And I knew I wanted a desk for when she was older, but like she's not going to use the desk right now. So it functions a little differently, but I was going for the timelessness of it all and picturing her doing her homework there or something later on in life. But yeah, the styling of how that works now is obviously different.
Right. Like I'm staring at my IKEA cubes.
Yeah.
There are 16 cubes filled with children's books. Okay. In about 5 years, these books are going to be donated. That makes me want to cry. Oh my God. Why am I so emotional? But like, that's just it. It's like the phases and stages of places and spaces. That's
and
such a mouthful.
me knowing exactly what you're looking at right now and knowing you could put in gorgeous built-ins right in that space and keeping the TV right where it is, do gorgeous built-ins around it that will function in different ways. And maybe there will be video games in there and a video game console and,
Never.
The nugget couch will turn into a big sectional couch. That makes more sense or something. But yeah.
And I think like we were getting there too with Alex about like zones of a space. I would love to hear in part 2. Like how do you know what to zone where?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that book nook that she was talking about. How do you know that that's a good space? I find that I'm constantly in my blank slate of a playroom basement shifting. Like, okay, this was the Hot Wheels corner today. We're going to actually switch that. It's been a few months. It's not working.
It's not working. Yeah.
Like, how do you know when it is the right decision to put something permanent there?
I was going to say the permanency can be a little... can halt some decision making in my experience. That's where I usually get decision fatigued because I worry about the permanency of things. And also, I think the longer I'm in my home, I realize that if you spend too much time focusing on the permanency of things, you'll realize how quickly time goes and that it's not. And that high low of it all, which I wanted to talk to her about as well. And I think, again, part 2, but just like how to piece that high low together. If you're, working with maybe a different budget and it's like, okay, where do I invest and where do I, budget for more affordable things? And I think that's where the timeless piece is versus the ones that you can trade out in a few years.
Exactly.
Is it? Yeah.
And the durability piece, like these are things, of course, like these are not unique experiences. Of course, we know that, but to hear it from somebody who has lived it and done countless projects for young families who have young kids, it makes sense to spend a little bit more on the couch if you want it now.
Yeah. That's
going to be stain resistant or whatever it might be for a design piece.
Totally.
Makes so much sense.
I loved, and honestly, aside from all like the fun tidbits about that part of our conversation, I loved hearing how she got there and her story and just like all the through lines there with chasing your talents and not your dreams, and her perspective on just really remaining like focused on the present and sustainability for her and her family is just really truly inspiring.
She knows herself. She always has known herself so well. And there's something so powerful to be said in that, right? And like I entered in listening to that part of her story really as a special educator. Like, oh, I wish you had a teacher like me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but truly.
Like, I wish someone I wish someone helped you see those gifts earlier in life.
Yeah.
And, right, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And clearly her trajectory was the way it was supposed to be. And everything is unwrapping even on more now for her. But what a beautiful lesson for a lot of parents to just trust your kid.
Yeah.
Like, trust in knowing that they know themselves best. Trust in knowing that they can and have the power to chase their talents. And they only know that. You might see it in them differently, but they're living their own lives too. And in the vein of development and in the vein of growing and evolving, like showing that you implicitly trust them is going to have way more stakes down the line than fighting that in any capacity.
We talk about all the time, like our to-do list might be misaligned, and it's not the application I want to use that for, but sometimes I do think that parents get a little bit wrapped up in their own agenda for what they thought their child might do or where they might go to college or how they might build a career. And they get so focused on that they get a little bit blinded to actually what might be best for that individual.
It's that bridge. Remember, we talked about that last time. It's the same application, just contexts are a little different of like the way that you saw it going and the way that it is. And that's through the lens of your child. Like, just believe them. Believe them, even if they change their mind tomorrow.
Yeah.
The steady part is that they know you believed them. There is nothing more powerful than that, in my opinion. Don't you just want to be believed and heard and loved for who you are? And if you have a thought or a question or like, this feels right to me or this doesn't feel right to me, like just to know you have someone in your front row to say, I believe you for that. And your mind might change tomorrow. And if it does, I'm still going to believe you.
Yeah. I love that.
So beautiful.
And that's so beautiful. And that is a perfect segue for me to tease a spotlight share that we are so overdue for, which is your freaking business, miss. That is like, this could be a trailer for it right now because
it's actually very apropos because I remember when I first met Alex, it was in the parking lot, I'm pretty sure, of like, hey, and I didn't share this when she was on, but Ryan knows her husband from growing up. Like they were in the Boy Scouts together. Like
Oh, I
they
didn't
go
know that.
way
Okay.
back. Like way, way back. We didn't put that together at the time, but I remember being like, "Oh, what do you do?" And she's like, "I'm an entrepreneur." And I literally like within months, within maybe a few weeks, like submitted all my LLC stuff for my own
Stop.
business. And I was like, "Oh my God, like a young entrepreneur who I can learn
Yeah.
from." I don't think I've ever told her that. So Alex, thank you. You inspired me without realizing. And it's
Oh, that's
just
so special.
yeah. Yeah. So look at that. The way it came up on this episode.
And I want to be very clear. I hope when I was saying earlier that we're not entrepreneurs, I meant I'm not an entrepreneur yet. Not
No.
you, not. I was
But
more
like,
so referring to like I have a job and someone gives me a paycheck and I don't, whether I do it or not.
we understand. And yet, you're not an entrepreneur yet. And also,
Yeah,
like, we
maybe.
have an LLC. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just did our
IRS.
taxes for us, okay?
God damn it. God damn it,
So,
I
yes,
did.
you are. And you have, I actually think there's some synergy here
Yeah.
with regard to systems and a lot of the
Mhm.
strengths that you provide. And so I think this conversation will be even more inspirational than you think.
Yeah, I think so. But wow, we're so lucky to have Alex on. What an amazing conversation. I love that we got to debrief and
Same.
we'll be sharing all the fun things for anyone that's listening or watching and wants to learn more about Alex. We will be sure to share everything in the bio as well as on Instagram. Do you have anything else, my love? Any joy tickets or
No.
anything? This was a joy ticket.
This was my joy ticket, Alex, hearing your story and just feeling inspired to purge and burn every bit of my home. Just kidding. But,
Just kidding.
you know,
Respectfully.
respectfully. Yeah, any joy tickets for you to share? This was my joy ticket too. My Bergen Roasters with my dream cloud.
I was going to say that looks like it has some nice foamy foams in it. Joy ticket. My son slept through the night last night.
Oh my God, that's a huge
We don't
joy
attach.
ticket.
We don't attach to it.
No.
It was a good night. I'm not
was a good
under
night.
any impression that it's going to be different tonight.
Nope, we're not
But-
obsessively recreating a bedtime routine tonight.
Literally couldn't even if I tried. But that was my joy ticket.
That's a joy ticket.
When I
I'm
had to wake
so
up
happy
early.
for you. Yeah, I was just
that I
about to
had
say
to.
you were still up at 4:30 in the morning. But hey, at least he slept.
At least it wasn't for him. Anyway.
And your daughter's birthday is coming up. That's a joy ticket.
Oh, it sure is. It sure is. I'll save that one for next week. But
Yeah,
yes,
we'll have
it's
such good content.
today's St. Patrick's Day for those who celebrate.
Yes.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, there's nothing substantive.
And yeah, then it will be her birthday and my son's turning 5 months old. And like, it's just a big week and we're getting real close to going back to work. So she's grabbing on with her bare knuckles to every last day left.
The objects are appearing closer.
Respectfully. Very grateful to have a job. I know when I go back, my brain's going to activate in a way that produces joy in some capacity. And I'm really enjoying stay-at-home mother life as well.
Of course. And that alignment will continue to adjust in your heart and your back.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully.
We must land the plane.
We gotta go. Okay.
All right. I love you so much. You all know where to find us at
you.
the Take Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. You can listen, you can watch, and we love y'all.
Give yourself a smooch.
Give yourself a goddamn smooch. Talk to you later.
Toodles.
Bye.